Stephen A. Smith, it's not NBA. It's college basketball. But I ask you this, are you surprised by Kentucky's run?
I am surprised. I truly am. I mean, listen, they came in, ballyhooed, hyped as just the freshman sensations. And, you looked at them and they had some trouble early in the season. John Calipari was all over them, talked about how some nights they didn't want to play. They didn't have their head screwed on straight.
They had trouble on March the 1st.
They were feeling
they hit bottom.
That's right.
It wasn't like even early.
Exactly. We look at John Calipari and got on him a little bit. Calm down, pump the brakes, relax. Some of the criticism they get is because you bring it to them. It's not just the media. We did all of this stuff. And evidently he had the pulse of this team better than anybody, which he should because he's their head coach. And I'm looking at these boys, the Harrison brothers, Harrison twins. I mean, Aaron, talk about a brother that showed up. I mean, you talk with these three-pointers that he hit in the second half, especially that last shot, which was just cold-blooded and big time. There was no doubt about it. Marcus Lee didn't do anything for the last 2 or 3 months, so pretty much all season long. But he comes off the bench and gives you 10 points and 8 rebounds. Had a bunch of putbacks as well. It was impressive. You look at Julius Randle. This dude is going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft if he elects to come out. They're saying that he should. And then you're Kentucky. You beat Wichita State, Louisville, and Michigan. 3 Final Four teams from last year. You do that to get to the Final Four. And the first all-freshman team, I mean, so was it since the Fab Five? I
was going to ask you, reminiscent of the Fab Five?
This is, hey, how else can you interpret it? I mean, evidently they're fabulous. So in the end, what it comes down to is that if you're going to go this far, Skip, why not go all the way, baby? Why not have Kentucky going up against Florida for the national championship? And instead of being like the Fab Five where you just get to 2 consecutive national championship games, you're the Kentucky Wildcats. You actually win the national championship. I'm not ready to say that yet, but I'm tempted, boy, because it's a beautiful story.
I think you're there.
It's a beautiful story.
Now you're right.
And listen,
they turn it over.
Listen, like I said before when I talked about them, I thought Wichita State would take them. I thought that was the only team that would take them. But I just got the mindset, Skip, that these guys, the bigger the moment, the more they rise. They love the moment. It's when the moment isn't there that they just, they pale. They don't measure up. But when the moment arrives, they show up. And the Final Four is a moment. This is a spectacular young bunch right now, the way they're playing over the last 2 weeks.
Before I address Kentucky, congratulations on your Wisconsin pick. You did have Wisconsin in the Final Four. Even though Arizona got robbed. We're going to talk about that later.
At the second hour of the show.
Absolutely.
Whatever. They did not get robbed. They lost.
They
lost. They got a gift. They should have converted the last play.
Oh, boy.
You don't even get a shot off before the clock expires. Stop it.
Okay, now back to Kentucky. I am shocked by this, but I shouldn't be surprised because I remind you, they were the preseason pick to win it all because they weren't just the Fab Five. They were the Fab Six. They had 6 McDonald's All-Americans. No one's ever recruited 6 in 1 year, which is why all the experts sat back before the year and said, nobody can touch this talent. It's too much firepower. And by the way, the 6th McDonald All-American you referred to, Marcus Lee, comes off the bench because of Willie Cauley-Stein's ankle injury and just takes the game over for about 15 minutes. Well, okay, that's too good. That's where you say, you got too much stuff, John. John Calipari. I want to congratulate him, and I want to defend him. He takes a lot of grief from many in the media, and some of it is occasionally deserved. But in this case, he got buried on March the 1st. Remember, he lost it at South Carolina. They lost the game. He got thrown out, and he had his shirt tail pulled out underneath his suit jacket. And it just looked like they had hit bottom and would never recover. They ended up losing to Florida all 3 times they played Florida, but obviously in the SEC tournament, it was 61-60. So I should have probably seen that coming. But I must admit, as God was my witness, as I was making my bracket picks, I'm just scrambling through it, I paused on Kansas State, Kentucky, and I thought, I don't know about these kids. I just don't know if they're ready for this. I almost picked Kansas State. I did not. But I inked in Kentucky. But then I had Kentucky, as you did, losing to Wichita State was the next game. So my point on John is I did defend him that day on March the 2nd when it appeared they had hit bottom. And I said, I think there's method to the madness. I think he's about to bring them to some kind of a boil. I didn't think it'd be this kind of a boil because those Harrison twins, they're playing like they're 30 years old. Seriously, they look, their demeanor, their body language.
They're not phased.
It is so poised.
They're not phased.
And you realize they got down and looked like out 3 times in 3 games. They got down where you thought the kids are going to crack. That's the end of them. Do you remember Wichita State? Were they up like 5 with 4 minutes to go? You think that's the end of those kids. And the Harrison twins, they're just completely like expressionless.
Yes.
And they play like they've been there, like a lot of other kids have, like the Florida kids. And by the way, I still have Florida as my national champion.
Oh, yes.
So we'll discuss that. But Florida starts 4 seniors and a sophomore, but 4 seniors. Well, these are just babies playing like at least juniors, wouldn't you say? And yesterday, when I thought they were going to crack, they got down early to Michigan. They just keep playing. They just keep playing. Somebody else contributes. He contributes. They finally figured out, as Calipari said after the game, it took 4 months for them to figure out. They all averaged 28 a game last year, in their last year of high school. You have to figure out how to do this at this level because it's no fun to lose at this level. So everybody has to make sacrifices, and you have to figure out who can make the big shots at the right times. Aaron Harrison. Are those not the 2 biggest shots of the tournament? The one late against Louisville and then the one My God, those are big-time senior shots.
And the way the brothers feed off of one another. It's like they get into their own lane.
Yeah, they do.
It's about
we got this.
We got this.
Yeah.
It's like they literally looked as if they were looking at Calipari and going like, relax.
I got it, Calipari.
We're good. We're good. And listen. I just can't say enough because when it's time to play big, Kentucky plays big as well.